Welcome to BrandsTalk, the podcast that explores the world of successful brands and the secrets behind their brilliance. I'm your host, Brigitte Bojkowszky, a company and personal brand identity strategist. Driven by my passion for brand excellence, we reveal the stories, strategies, and insights from thought leaders, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and experts who have propelled their brands to new heights. With a focus on authenticity, market leadership, and the power of brand storytelling, our conversations are designed to inspire and empower you to elevate your brand's radiance and attract not only the recognition, but also the clients you truly deserve. We delve into corporate branding, entrepreneurial branding, personal branding, and leadership branding, offering valuable lessons for entrepreneurs and business professionals alike. Let's get started and dive into the world of brands.
Hello and welcome to our summit, Passions to Abundance. It has been an unbelievable journey and a fabulous, inspirational time with all the speakers. I'm Elizabeth Gueldner. I've been your host throughout all of our journey with the summit. And I'll tell you, there's been a major theme going on with beliefs, mindsets, and believing that we can accomplish and get to the next step in our life, whatever that is. And most of you already know my journey and that I was that woman for most of my life. So I am super excited because there's a component that I think we all have when we're trying to get to the next step, right? Is who are we? What are we all about? Our identity, our brand. So with that having said, I'd like to introduce to you our speaker today, Brigitte Bojkowszky. Welcome to the summit.
And thank you so much for having me and having me participate in your beautiful summit, getting people together and reflect on their passion. And I think passion has so many different layers, and I'm so happy to talk about it from a branding perspective.
Oh my goodness, that is so awesome. I would love for you to share a little about yourself. And I mean, everybody wants to know how somebody got from here to there. And so I'm going to let you talk about you and a little of your story and what you do.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much. Yeah, I'm a company and personal brand identity strategist. I'm really very niche here and pruning it down to the core because there is so much to branding. And I'm particularly looking at building, crafting, refining brand identities. And when I talk about brand identities, everything basically has a brand identity. Corporations have one, companies, small, medium enterprises, a product, a service, an experience, but also people. People also have an identity. They are brands, whether they are conscious about it or not. And I help these organizations and also people to really reflect on that and bring the beauty and the brilliance out of them so they can shine authentically. That's what I'm doing in a nutshell. And I do that on a global level because I'm operating out of Austria. I'm a global person, so I have traveled all of my life, and that's many, many years. So, I'm accommodating and supporting and guiding people and companies in all parts of the world.
Individuals as well, right?
Yes, individuals, people, whether it's individuals, executives to help them with their executive presence in the context of the organization, because we shouldn't underestimate the human being behind corporations. It's about aligning corporate values with each individual personal values, because in the context of the organization, you have a culture, an organizational culture. And a culture is about a shared set of values and beliefs and a vision. And that really needs to be aligned. And when this is aligned, a company is healthy, and they also project that to the rest of the world, to everything, to their customers, to their clients, to their internal stakeholders, external stakeholders. That is important to be aware of who we are and
Mhm.
what kind of perception we have in the market, what we put out there as a person, but also as an organization.
So true, because we have to, in order to get along, to work with each other, if we don't know who we are and a little bit about what direction we're going in, how would somebody that wants to work with us or be our friend or anything, be in a relationship, really understand if we don't understand? So, do you have a story that took you from place in your life to this purpose in your life?
Yeah. So actually, my whole life is around reflection. It's around turning a pain into purpose. So if I may start from the beginning, everything started out what I wanted as a child. I wanted to become a flight attendant. I wanted to travel the world. I just wanted to get out of this box where I was living in Austria, very traditional life, but I wanted to see the world and I wanted more. And when I served as a flight attendant, I figured how important it is to have a certain presence on board because you are basically um, the closest that you can get to your customers because you're representing the company. So we were taught how to actually live our passion to create exceptional experiences on board. And I also, since I was flying mostly long hauls, it was interesting to get in touch with all these different cultures and mentalities and nationalities. So that's where I got this global perspective. And it also taught me my passion for brand excellence. Because when I was traveling, I was in Australia, I was in the US, I was in North America in general, I was in Asia, in Africa, sometimes 5 continents in a month.
Mhm.
And I really get an understanding of the idiosyncrasies of different cultures, how people think, their perceptions on things. And I also got in touch with all the different kinds of brands out there. But I was intellectually not challenged. So I quit and jumped ship and studied. I studied international marketing and management and business education. So I'm also a certified teacher. And then I worked for a corporation. I headed a market research department in a real estate development company that went bankrupt during the financial crisis in 2008. And I identified myself very much with that job. I was living my position, right? I was part of this company and I put all my passion into it. But the company went bust.
Mm.
And where was I? I kind of lost my identity. And that was a catalyst for me to understand how important it is to have an identity disconnected from everything else, your own personal identity. Who are you as a person? Yeah. And that really starts with mindset. Branding starts with mindset. It's all about your thoughts. Your thoughts can be positive, your thoughts can be negative. It's your thoughts is actually crafting your path, your journey, if I may say so. Yeah. So um, that's where I first really started to reflect on myself. Who am I as a person? Who am I now? And what do I become? Because you're evolving over time with what everything happens, right? With the vision you're putting out there, with the values you live by. So you're constantly changing. You're constantly in the state of becoming, and that's so beautiful. Yeah. And we should be aware of that. And then I was asked by the university if I can take on more teaching assignments because on the side, I was also teaching in the area of global marketing and management and branding and strategy and consumer behavior. So I did that until 2020. When COVID rolled in, I started my own business. And since then, I'm an entrepreneur. I started out a little bit earlier already having my clients, but yeah, and now I'm in the business to help companies and individuals really to shine, to bring the brilliance out of them, to transform their passions and ambitions into a captivating brand. And I do that. There's another reason for that. When I was a professor, as a professor, as a teaching professor, there is no real career path. You're teaching professor, that's it. There is no career ladder. And I'm not someone who does something for forever, for the rest of your life. I feel like I need to learn. I have this, there's this fixed and this growth mindset, as we know, right? And there was no opportunity for me anymore. And I didn't want to be kept in this box because basically, when I started as a flight attendant, was kind of getting out of this traditional box. Yeah.
Mm,
Really living a life like I wanted it to be and not how others tell me I have to. So this
mhm,
was the first time of breaking out, yeah, shedding an identity, molding myself into something, taking on something else, taking a step into the unknown, into the, out of the comfort zone, into something new. And I constantly did that. From a flight attendant, then to a student, then to a corporate, then to a professor. And as a professor, was like, I cannot do this the rest of my life, molding myself into something I'm not really happy with, going away from my core. And my core is to learn, to constantly grow as a person. So that is for me very, very important. Yeah. And then I stopped. And now, as an entrepreneur, I can constantly evolve over time. It's the best school in life to really, first of all, get to know yourself better as a person, go deep into who I want to become. Yeah. And lay out the groundwork and then walk the talk.
So let's go back a little bit with how you reinvented yourself, because I can relate. I've done that, I don't know how many times in my life. And but one common thread that I heard was the mindset and the beliefs. Now, did you have that always before you were a flight attendant, or any of these shifts in your life, or did you really have to work on your mindset and beliefs?
I constantly had to work on my mindset and beliefs. I was always I was kept invisible. It was
Mm,
like, you're not good enough and, don't speak up. Nobody's interested what you have to say anyway. And we are not the others. I was, playing small, kept in this box. And I did not understand. So I had this struggle all my life between feeling forbidden to be as I want to be and the burning desire to make the difference in a way that I want it to be. Yeah. To be my true self. Because just I think that many of us have the problems. People put you in the box, they want you to be something like your parents or your friends, or they tell you how they see you, and you take that on because you think that is true. So they are kind of um shaping your identity in one way or in another. And then when you start going on a self-discovery mission, you realize actually this is not the true me. And usually there is a time in the, sometimes it's for people in the 30s, in the 40s, or in the 50s, then you think, no, I don't want to live this life anymore. That's why a lot of corporates start embarking on their entrepreneurial journey because they say, enough is enough. I did my job. I raised my kids. I was a wife, or I did that. But now I want to live my life. And that means that you want to find something that makes you happy, where you can live your true joy, happiness, yeah, and your way of doing things. But that needs some time of reflection. And very often it has something to do with this limiting beliefs that we are conditioned. We
mm,
take that on and we have to unlearn that. Yeah. Because these limiting beliefs are not true. It's just a way of how we think. But we can take this limiting, reflect on them, and turn into empowering beliefs, something that empowers you to take the next step, to be bold, to be courageous, to to go into the so-called at the beginning nothingness. You don't know what's gonna come. Yeah. It's of course it's a calculated risk to do something that you're not used to.
but how much more of a risk is it to live our life in this box for a whole entire life?
The
And some
question, yeah, the question
I
is, what does it cost you to
yeah.
stay there? Yeah, because you are worthy to take that next step. You're worth it. There is nothing actually you can lose. I think you lose more when you stay in that box. Because at the end of the day, you would say, I should have done. How would life have been if I would have taken that step? And I never ever want to regret something like this at the end of the day. And I once did, and I paid for it
Yeah.
with my pain. And it's a rational decision that you're making, not a decision with your heart. Rational decisions are short-term decisions that make you happy for short term, or presumably make you safe. You feel safe, okay, because it makes sense, right?
Mm.
But you also need to listen to your instinct. What does your heart tell you? Your heart is never wrong.
Right.
Yeah. It might take some twists and turns. It might not be easy, but this is the beauty of your life and the journey to overcome these challenges. It puts you into your zone of genius. You're learning so much with that. You're leaping ahead. This is a lever, it's leveraging you. Yeah. You are incorporating these learnings. It's nothing that makes you fail. You might think you failed, but in reality, you learn so much out of it. It just depends on your thoughts, how you see it. If you see, oh my God, I failed, okay. Yeah. But if you see, okay, what is in there that I needed to learn?
Mhm.
Just reframe. I know just is a word. Yeah. It takes time, it takes resiliency, it takes boldness, it takes strength. You need a support system that lifts you up, accountability partners, maybe a mentor, maybe a coach, books, podcasts, whatever you can get, a summit like yours, yeah, that helps you that to stay in this energy that everything happens for you.
So true. I'm just sitting here mesmerized because I was this woman 4.5 years ago. I really stayed in the corporate out of fear or in a relationship because those voices, you're not good enough, all the stuff that you said that you grew up with, I did as well. And I now stepping aside 4.5 years later, it it amazes me that I stayed in a situation or a lot of situations, that one in particular, 14 years
I totally
before I finally realized I was living in fear. And so many people listening right now, I mean, are completely resonating with everything we're saying because they are possibly living in that place right now. And the voices are so loud that they feel like they can't step out of it. We're here to say I did it 4.5 years ago and I'm not 25 anymore. So it can change at any time that you've had enough.
Yeah. Yeah. There comes a point where your pain is so strong that you say, enough is enough. Yeah. So you're taking the next step. And I think that's a magic moment. That's a turning point where you know you cannot go back. And then your journey, the path unfolds beautifully with all the ups and downs and with the headaches and with the challenges and with the so-called failures, which are not. But this is so much part of the story. And every hardship is, let's say, a breakdown is just before your breakthrough. Just see it like that. I know it's easily said and it's much harder to do, but you need to walk that path. And there is no other way around. Yeah. But that's life. And actually it's beautiful.
Well, just ask yourself in the audience right now, how fun or comfortable is where you are if you're not happy, right? So
Exactly.
if we think this journey is going to be hard to transform or find ourselves, I'm here to say it was much harder to stay where I stayed looking back on it because it was mentally abusive and controlling and all the things that nobody deserves in this world. Not one person deserves not to be their unique, beautiful self that we were created to be. So I know that's where So let's say so many have been listening to this, and I know light bulb moments have gone off with so many speakers, including you. So now they say, okay, I want to go out on my own. I want to do something and share who I am and share the light of the world with myself, whatever it is. That's where the branding part comes in, where you help a person shape themselves, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when someone is embarking on his or her entrepreneurial journey, there are certain steps to take. And what I postulate here is that branding starts with mindset. So when you start out on your entrepreneurial journey, then you first need to shift your corporate employee's mindset into a business owner's mindset. And that needs to happen. And that already takes some effort, but it's a beautiful effort to shift that. So first of all, what you need to have is a clear vision of where do I want to go? What do I want to achieve? What do I want to be in 5 years, in 10 years? How do you see yourself in 20 years time? Whom are you surrounded by? Where are you living? How do you work? Or have you already retired? Yeah, the way of, so what is the higher vision that you want to achieve, right? And then what is your mission to get there? How do you get there? What is actually your purpose? So usually it's your pain. My pain was I was totally invisible. I was kind of, put into this box, playing small. For me, at the end of the day, I was an expert, but invisible. And I want to help others who are experts in their field, who are brilliant in their field, who have passion for that, who have such a beautiful, you know, um, being character with beautiful. I mean, really, everyone has something beautiful to give to this world. That's what I'm talking about. And that's your pain that you transform into a purpose. And for me, is make people shine. Yeah. From this being invisible to be visible and really shine and radiate all of what you can do, what you have, what you are, and what you can help others accomplish, right? So this is it to find. And once you have found that, yeah, then you need to also look at what is the 3 to 5 values that make your core value set, that you live and breathe every day. It's important that you know your values. Your values guide you. Your values is something that help you make intentional decisions. You are so much faster with decision making because very often we think, okay, should I do that? I'm not quite sure, or should I do that? Maybe I ask this person, reflect on your value set. Does this stay within that? Is this something that comes from a place of integrity? That
Mhm.
comes from, I don't know, is my brilliance involved here? Does it make me happy? Is there passion involved? Does it allow me, for example, for me, freedom is also a value of the freedom to decide, the freedom to have, to choose my clients. Freedom has also a lot of different meaning attached, right? So whatever your value set is, does this go along? So this is already a lot of insights. And when it comes to mindset, it's also understanding what your limiting beliefs are, that you work on them. What are your fears? Okay, why am I not doing this? Is this holding me back? Why is this holding me back? What am I telling myself which is not true?
Yeah.
Turn it around, reframe. Yeah. So once you're practicing that and you're getting into this ritual, you're catching yourself. So you're becoming better. You become more resilient and switch right away. If something like an unfortunate situation happens, instead of, okay, one day you can say, oh my God, this is all a failure. No, next day you get up. I learned from that. What can I take away? And then once you have established this foundation of vision, mission, values, and you're aware of your belief set, then you build your personal brand. Who am I now? What do I want to become? But you need to know who you are at the moment. Because just think about, you want to go to a certain place and you Google it. but you need to also know where you are at the moment, the current destination, in order to know how to get there, right? So you need to do a situation analysis, a self-check of the here and now. So what are my strengths?
So
Yeah.
you help them with your coaching that you do? Do you help them with those first three parts?
Absolutely.
Vision,
Mine's
mission, value, mission, vision, mission, value. So you help them establish that. I'm guessing with coaching or questions or guidance that you've created. And then once they establish who they are, then you help guide them into the branding of them.
exactly, because everything what we talked about is mindset shift, right? And then this is the first column basically of the entrepreneurial branding process. And you need to go through all these steps. There is no shortcut. If you start with your branding colors of your company, based on what? Because every color has a meaning. You need colors that reflect who you are and what your purpose is of this company, right? But first, when you are the face of your company, you need to know yourself first. Because knowing yourself first as the true authentic you, then you connect with the right customer. This is so important. Because if you're not the real you, if you still have a mask on, you're not connecting with the right people.
Ah, so good. That's
Yeah. So that's why this personal branding work up front is so important. It guides you. It's the North Star. And once this is done, once you know you as a persona, who you are in all the different walks of life, we do a lot of different work here. We also get feedback from others because others see very often certain strengths and a certain brilliance in you that you're not seeing. Yeah. You have a blind spot here, but there might be something you want to integrate. Yeah, and make part of your strength, part of your differentiation factor, of your uniqueness, how you position yourself in the market through your company, because you shine through your company brand identity. And once you're clear about yourself, you build your company. Then we talk about logo, we talk about a name, we talk about the colors, we talk about the tagline, yeah? Because it all has meaning. There needs a narrative, there needs to be a story that is you that goes into that brand, in that company brand.
makes so much sense to do it in this order.
Yeah. And then you
I
look who
could
is
backwards.
no, you do, yeah. Because if you start with the end, then there's so much missing. And then you think, oh, I need a marketing strategist. Yeah, but what does this marketing strategist do? A marketing strategist has the tools to communicate your brand. But if there is no clear brand strategy, what is the marketing strategist communicating? Your product? But there are many products out there. You're one of the many. So you need something that differentiates. And that's your human touch. That's you as a person. You give meaning to that company if you are the person who is involved. Yeah? I'm not talking now something about like 5, 10 years further down the future when you have grown. Maybe then you want to detach yourself from the brand. But this is a different story. Yeah, can be done. No problem at all. But first, we talk about solopreneurs, people who start out, right? It's usually the person behind the company that is important. And that's what we are here.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what kind of job that you're doing. You like you're saying, I mean, I've been to think about how many times we've gone to a restaurant and the person that's serving us is just in a foul mood versus the person that's serving us is in such a great mood to see you. Doesn't that change your whole entire experience?
Yes.
So
And very often you go somewhere. Yes, I go there because I'm always be taken care of by a friendly person because I like the person there. Or it's just, branding is about how you make others feel. Yeah. Why would you go for an iPhone? Why would you go for Nike? Or why would you go for Lululemon? Why are you choosing that? Why you go for Starbucks coffee? Yeah. Not because it's so expensive, but because it makes you feel something. Yeah.
yes.
when I wear that gear, I feel empowered. I love that how it fits my body, right? Or when I go to Trader Joe's, for example, I just like the shopping experience there. There's always something new, yeah. Or I just love to work with Apple products because it's so complementary. Its whole ecosystem. I couldn't work without it. Yeah. And I know it's more expensive, but it's also stylish and it serves my purpose. And I would not be happy with something else. And I feel empowered. I feel like I'm capable. And it has the meaning of simplicity is attached to that. Yeah. So we go with the feeling. A brand makes us feel something. A brand always has this duality of rationality, but also the emotional part.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm agreeing with everything because I was whirling around in my head while you were talking how many things I do that are brand related because I like the brand or I like the person that's representing the brand or I like the message that they're sending in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd love for you to there's a lot of women and some men here today, this whole entire summit, that are going, okay, I'm thinking she's summing it up for me to where I can brand myself. And to me, listening to you, it sounds so much easier than when they might have first looked at that and thought it was so daunting. Like, how do I even begin? But you show them step by step the process of how to figure out who they are, what they want, and then the whole process through.
Yeah.
So, is that part of what your free gift? Because everybody's giving away a free gift. It's been fantastic. So, I'd love for
Yes.
you to share what you're giving away as a free gift.
Okay, so my free gift is a entrepreneurial branding starter checklist. So
Mm.
it's a checklist that goes along the lines what I have just explained right now. It walks you through all these three steps of the entrepreneurial branding process. From the beginning, mindset shift, then we go into personal branding, then company branding. It's a checklist that tells you all the steps that you need to walk. And I think that's a beautiful guide. So even though you want to walk it alone, a beautiful guide, what comes first, what is second, what is third, and what comes after the other. Yeah. So it gives you clarity, it gives you a roadmap, and it also gives you a little bit more confidence, yeah, because there is this clarity in where do I start, right? A lot of people just overwhelmed. So where do I start now? Yeah. But this helps you to walk that through.
And I think that's would be good for anybody at any stage because even if you are already an entrepreneur and you do have a business, you said earlier, our life changes all the time. Maybe somebody's an empty nester now, maybe somebody's transitioning from a position or a different job. So it is important to look at where you are at the stage of life you're in.
Exactly, because branding is an ongoing process. And regularly revisiting, as you say, and refining these steps really will keep your brand aligned with your evolving goals because they're also changing. You have to adapt to the external environment. Yeah? So the macroeconomic factors, the geopolitical situation is changing. Yeah? We are depending on that. Industries are changing. Competitors are leaving the industry. New competitors come in. There's a convergence of industries. New kind of businesses are created. Yeah, you need to be here really, really aware of what's going on in the market. And based on that, consumer behavior is changing and there is always something new coming up. And then you see, based on your values, because they help you decide, do I want to hop on that trend? Is this something for me? So that's why you have to regularly check on your steps, on your involvement and how where you want to go and your goals, redefine goals. Yeah. And very much the changing needs of your clients. It's you wanna, the end of the day, it's about satisfying clients' needs, turning pain points into gain points. It's about making them happy, understanding their desires. Yeah. And with my, now I'm saying that with my beauty and with my brilliance, that I as a company, yeah, whoever that is out there, how can I serve them best?
So true. Because that is our customers and our clients are in result of just like the summit, wanting to share and bring brilliance and empowerment and inspiration so people can get a light bulb moment. So I
To abundance, to abundance. And the beautiful thing is the word of the year of this year, 2024, my word, because I think everyone should have a word of the year is abundance. But we have to be very particular what we understand under abundance, what we wish for. I think we need to go really deep into that. Yeah.
my word is abundance. Is I
Just
said
to, hello.
going into the year before I had decided to do the
Yeah.
summit again. So that's awesome. It's a great word. It means so many
Yeah.
things to me. And so everybody that's listening, you'll get the free gift. It's going to be right here with our video. And Brigitte, thank you so much for bringing this part to the summit that is reality, is that we really do, and we not do, we just want to be ourselves in the world and show the world who we are and be proud of saying, I am my brand, and that's what I want to bring to the world.
You know what? And just thinking about that, yeah, and then also living it, it's so liberating. It brings
Right.
so much freedom. And this is also the moment where you bring all the abundance in,
Mm.
because then you're open to receive. When we have these limiting beliefs and we are not truly ourselves, we are not open to receive what we really deserve, what we are worthy. We need to understand our worthiness. Yeah. And then really living it is just beautiful. I want everyone to feel that, because then you're also passionate about your things.
I feel it. I feel very empowered having done this summit, being with all of the lovely speakers and just bringing this to the world, all of us bringing this to the world. And I thank you so much for being here and bringing your wisdom and sharing from your heart. It's very obvious that you care so much about everybody. And I'm sure people have gotten some light bulb moments.
Yeah, Elizabeth, thank you so much for having me. And you're doing such a tremendously great job. It's just beautiful to watch you being in your passion to abundance. And thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
If you loved the episode, don't forget to hit follow on your favorite app, share it with your network, and drop me a quick rating or review. Your support means the world to me and brings more exciting brand stories to you. Stay tuned for the next episode as we continue to explore the fascinating world of brands. Until then, keep shining.